Chapter 24 Ape LAN Party. King and Axel left the humans. They agreed they would meet later for dinner. Perry and Elle went back to find Tony. As they approached the door to Einstein's room, the hallway became crowded. A bunch of apes were standing in the hall, looking into the lab. Elle and Perry looked at each other and rushed the door, not knowing if they should be scared or not. They heard some yelling and then a big cheer, which eased their nerves. They looked in the door. It was hot and crowded. There were about 20 monkeys, apes, and Tony, all staring at monitors. They were playing a game. It looked like they were all playing the same game. Explosions blasted from speakers and beans bounced in front of their monitors, either from dying or getting a kill. It wasn't a game Perry or Elle had ever seen before. Perry stared at some of the monitors. They were all playing as war stores in some sort of death match. Tony was one of the last alive. In a hail of missiles, explosions, dodging in and out of cover, everyone in the room yelled as one war store emerged from the smoke. Tony shook his head. He didn't win. It was this chimpanzee with dreads who had won. He had a big smile on his face and slid his head back and forth in celebration. He wore a baggy sweater with Jamaican colors. "Yeah, man," he said, looking back and forth at his dead competitors. "Bring it, Mom, bring it." He started another round. Tony nodded to Elle and Perry, and they made their way over to him through the crowd. "What the hell, man? There's a LAN party all of a sudden?" Perry asked. Tony was excited, trying to tell a story and concentrate on playing his game at the same time. "This Elosa computer shit is sweet. It's so easy to use." In the game, Tony's war store moved out from in between two buildings and fired two giant tank turrets. He stopped talking for a second to concentrate on the game. His war store went back in reverse, back between the buildings, and explosions went off all around him. As soon as the explosions were almost over, he rushed his war store forward, firing where he knew his enemy would be, even though he couldn't see through the smoke. Massive explosions. A baboon on the other side of the room screamed and put his ass in the air when he died. He looked at Tony and pointed to his baboon ass, shaking it in disbelief. "Nice," Perry said. "Yeah, the tank turrets on here are the best. They're supposed to be a backup weapon, but they're pretty effective and have nearly unlimited ammo." Tony's war store charged from behind a giant rock and emerged behind two other war stores focused on fighting each other. Tony hit both as they destroyed each other, then focused on finishing off whoever won. As he fought to finish off the wounded war store, he continued, "The tank turrets are way better than the main gun. Everyone uses the main gun." From behind, Tony's war store was hit with a flurry of missiles, then a barrage of tank turret shots. Before he could turn his war store around, it blew up. "Oh yeah, man!" Bob Marley, the chimpanzee, yelled out again, doing his signature back and forth head slide. He won again. Tony conceded, "Damn, that guy's good. He's sneaky." He got up and another baboon quickly took his spot at the computer. They sat in the middle of an intense LAN party of apes and monkeys, all playing a super realistic war store deathmatch game on a custom system of elite computers built by the richest corporation on Earth. "Look," Tony pointed behind Elle and Perry. There was a large stack of what looked like jet black, featureless boxes. Each individual box was about the size of a Red Bull 4-pack, almost square, a little taller than wide though. They were featureless, except for a little green LED light on each one in the top corner. There was a stack of them, about 10 wide and 20 long. Tony reached and snapped one off like a Lego. The green light turned red. "They're totally interchangeable and redundant." He stuck the black box on the big stack in a different spot. It connected easily with a snap and the light turned green. Tony pointed around at each monitor the monkeys and apes were playing on. "Each of these little boxes is called a stacker, and each one is like a processor, monitor, and touchscreen all combined into one. Look at their monitors." Tony pointed, then Perry and Elle noticed the screens weren't monitors. They were all playing on similar sets of connected stackers. They're not monitors, Tony explained. It's just a side of one of these stackers. It's like computer Legos that are monitors and processors together. Perry looked more closely at the monitor in front of them. It was a stack 3 high by 4 wide. Tony grabbed 4 off the big stack and began attaching them to the top, strong snapping sounds. Then he snapped 4 on the side, and when he attached the final one, the screen adjusted to the new size and filled up the empty space. Now it was 4 high by 5 wide. The screen adjusted while the baboon was still playing. The more you connect, the more powerful the computer. Tony touched the big stack. This is running the game. Each of the others is connected to it wirelessly. It just knows and connects. It's crazy. Tony was excited and continues. It all just works perfectly together. I'm guessing because they made it completely custom? Einstein injected. And no viruses, because no one else has them. There's like no restrictions because these computers only exist in war stores. There's instructions right there. I was reading them. They basically think war stores are impregnable. But each box can be wiped out in an emergency. Tony had seemed to learn a lot in the few hours they left him here. And if you wipe it, there's no trace of the OS. It's just a dead black box. Tony snapped another box off the stack. He held it up near his face so everyone could see and touched it with one finger. The face of the jet black box lit up. Tony moved his finger, which selected through a few menus. It popped up a screen that showed everyone's screen currently playing the War Store game. He pulled his finger off, and the side of the box went black. So fucking cool, man. They stole these things right out of a war store. How? Perry asked. Tony answered, I guess they broke in or something. I'm not sure how they did it, but that's what Einstein said. Einstein continued, the boys are going to make another run the day after the rock show. Oh, that's what they were talking about. Perry put it together in his head. It was pretty late in the night. No one knew what time. At least none of the humans knew. Tony was so excited, he was alert. And in this hot LAN party of a room, he was sweating. People were yelling all around him. He was in his element. Elle was tired. It was a long day. I'm going to bed, she yelled to Perry and Tony. Perry agreed too. Yeah, I'm going too. But Tony wasn't done yet. I'm going to stay here. Einstein and a small group of other monkeys were looking over his shoulder. He was showing them the video pinball game he had downloaded on his phone. They were enthralled. All right, see ya, Tony said. Perry and Elle went back to the room and met with Clone Perry, Perry's girlfriend, and Fozzie. They had been here a few days now. Perry, his clone, and girlfriend all shared a bed. Tony and Elle shared a bed. Fozzie got a bed, and they all threw their bags on the other bed for storage. Perry took off his clothes and jumped into bed naked with his clone and new girlfriend. They greeted him with open arms and laughter and went under the sheets giggling. Elle lay down on her bed and Fozzie jumped up with her. They all slept. A few hours later, Tony crept in quietly and laid down next to Elle and Fozzie. He closed his eyes moments before the sun came up.